And we are live. What's good, Josh? Your man DL Saint. Welcome to the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast. Yeah, man, it's like a little bit of a special edition. I was planning on doing a different show today, but y'all know what it is, man. With everything that's going on. Different show today, but you know what I mean? Y'all know what it is. Let me check to make sure the sound is good. Everything's going on. Different show today, but you know what I mean? Y'all know what it is. So, we're gonna talk a little bit about politics, y'all. So, we're gonna talk a little bit about politics, y'all. That's what we're gonna do. Hold on, did that? Let me check one more time. That's what we're gonna do. Hold on, did that? Just checking to see. Let me check one more time. My sound is good. That's what we're gonna do. Hold on, did that? Just checking to see. Let me check one more time. My sound is good. I don't think it is. I can't hear my sound, but we're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna go through this without sound. I'm talking about sound effects. We're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna go through this without sound. We're gonna do this without sound effects. Um, I just hope, but everything else sounds good. Like the audio sound, all right. So we're just gonna do it without sound effects. It's all good. That's fine. It gets me. We can just. I really want sound effects for this one, just because we're gonna have some fun. But whatever. Next show. You know what I mean? So yeah, special. This is just the special edition here. We're just gonna talk about what's going on now. I can't say what happened last night because the votes are still being tallied. We still don't know who's gonna control Congress, the Senate race, and the race for the Senate. Who's gonna control the Senate and who's gonna control the House? Still tight. Looks like the Democrats are going to hold on to the Senate. It might be a 50-50 split there. So Vice President Kamala Harris will be the deciding vote there, which would give power to the Democrats. And in the House, it looks like the Republicans will take the House of Representatives, but by a very slight margin. This is why we vote, y'all. This is why we vote. So in this particular show, like you see the title and the thumbnail, is it time for the Republican Party to embrace black people? Listen. The Republican Party has embraced everyone but the African American community. They have not embraced ever. You know what I mean? It just hasn't happened. There are black folks like me who are registered Republicans, but who shy away from the party as a whole. It is what it is. Like, let's just keep it 100. There are really good people in the Republican Party, but they also, within that tent, they house a lot of folks who are not okay with folks who look like me, right? It is what it is. And over the past couple election cycles, those people, and I'm talking about, the far right, the extremists, white supremacists, neo-Nazis, just racists, those people were courted over the past few election cycles. And that got them over the hump. You know what I mean? That got them moving in the direction I guess they wanted to move in. But now it's not so much because the rest of the party has woken up. You got to understand the people I'm talking about, these fringe folks, very, very, very small percentage, very, very, very small percentage of the Republican Party and the electorate. It really is, and it just shows you how close elections are these days. This is why, again, people, you need to vote. You need to vote. This election cycle, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the most expensive yet. That's how much money has been pumped into this election cycle. You look at Georgia. For the Senate race in Georgia, it's Herschel Walker and Warnock. That looks like it's going to a runoff, which means we won't know who wins that race until December. More money is going to be pumped into that election. It's crazy. I don't know what. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about this. Sister Follows in the house. What's good, love? My buttons aren't working for whatever reason. I can't hear my buttons. I'm gonna push them anyway, but I don't think y'all can hear them. Welcome. And it's like, thank the Lord you went live. Yo, I just wanted to talk about some stuff. Thank you for being there and being here and supporting me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, sis. Yeah, man. So we're gonna read an article from Fox. I wanted to read this article from Fox News because it's just everything that's going on. I just thought it'd be best to read it from Fox. Let's hear what Fox has to say. Because, media, we all know media has a slant. We know which way CNN, MSNBC, and those networks tend to slant. They're all left, and we know Fox is pretty much right. And when it comes to like the big cable news joints, Fox News stands alone, and they're pretty much right in their politics. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I rather watch Fox. It depends on what's going on. And so, for instance, let's say that the red wave did come, I would be watching more CNN, MSNBC to try to get some information because they're gonna put out as much as they possibly can. So since the night didn't go as well as planned for the Republicans, I really want to hear what Fox has to say about it. And yeah, man, red wave. The media grapple with an undecided battle for control of Congress, right? And then, of course, they have on the ticker, they're showing, what's going on with what states and what districts for House and Senate and whatnot, governor. Looks like the Republicans had a pretty good night in the governor races. But keep in mind, this is a midterm. This is a midterm election, and the people in the White House, right? The Democrats in the White House, the Biden administration is doing really bad. I mean, just keep it 100. Their approval rates, his approval rates are low. And you look at what's going on with the economy, you look at what's going on with the Fed raising interest rates, you look at what's going on with the housing market, and all these things, really bad. It's like bad stuff. This is bad for the sitting president. And generally what happens is, you lose seats during the midterm. I mean, even if you're doing halfway decent, you still lose seats. This should have been a red tsunami. I mean, just keep it 100. As bad as the White House is doing, this should be a real serious red wave. And it didn't happen. We're going to get into why it didn't happen. A Republican House takeover still remains likely despite Kevin McCarthy not having the expected 30-seat margin. He really thought they were going to pick up a lot of seats. 30 seats, 30 to 50 seats. It was supposed to be this huge wave, and he should have. He should have picked those seats up. Just keeping it 100. He should have. So the article, after a confusing night of contradictory election information, the battle for control of Congress wasn't settled when the sun came up. Everyone in the media was bracing for a red wave that was going to carry Republicans to victory, but it turned out to be a slow tide. It's still possible that the GOP will wind up controlling both houses of Congress, but only narrowly, right? And again, that we don't know. It might, right? It looks like they're going to take the House by a couple of seats, a few seats, not a lot of seats, nowhere near the 30 that the House minority leader was hoping for, and that's McCartney. You know what I mean? So, but he might in fact become the next Speaker of the House. Again, we have to wait and see. And man, it's crazy. It's crazy. The upset of the night had to be John Fetterman beating Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania, despite his disastrous debate as Democrat voters decided to rally behind the recovering stroke victim that flipped the Senate seat balance. J.D. Vance beating Tim Ryan in Ohio, leaving control of the chamber undecided. So yeah, Dr. Oz, being an outsider, I didn't watch that race that closely. I didn't watch any of this, really, to be honest with you. I'm normally really into politics, but I didn't follow this particular cycle as closely as I normally do. I was just fed up. I wanted to take a break. Just keep it 100, y'all. I was just tired of dealing with politics. You know what I mean? Like, especially American politics. It doesn't make any sense because we go through these elections and they go to D.C. and nothing happens. You know what I mean? It's status quo. It's the same thing. They don't do anything. So I was just like, whatever. I didn't really follow it, but of course you're going to follow the election. So Dr. Oz, the TV personality, was running in Pennsylvania for the governor. I'm sorry, he was running for governor. And someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think he was running for governor. But and he lost. And it's one of those things. He's really an outsider who just came back using money and using his clout, his celebrity to try to, take a seat. And he couldn't get it. He could not get that seat. He lost. And the person who beat him actually suffered a stroke during the campaign. I didn't watch their debate. So yeah, man, like that I'm just, I'm sitting here thinking about it now, like I don't even, this is crazy. It's crazy. And John Fetterman is a guy who's like a regular dude. He's not clean shaven, has a goatee. He was giving his victory speech. He was wearing a hoodie. The man has all kind of tats. You know what I mean? He's definitely pro-union and all this other stuff. And he won. He won in Pennsylvania, which that flipped it. You know what I mean? That flipped the a seat there. Man, was that state? Was that for the Senate race or was that for a gubernatorial race? Y'all let me know in the chat. But and let me drop the link in case anybody wants to join, because I just want to have a talk. You know what I mean? Just kind of, you know what I mean? Just talk about what happened. This is like I said, some wild stuff. Brother JT's in the house. What We Know podcast. What's good, fam? Yeah, my sound effects board is not working. When I did my sound check and I didn't feel like restarting it, so I'm gonna hit the button anyway, but I don't think it's working. What up, bro? Do you think Trump's important announcement is going? What's Trump's important announcement going to be? I don't know, bro. I don't know. We're gonna talk about Trump here in a minute. Brother Jose's in the house. What's up, man? Good. What's good to see you, brother. It was like the debate was horrible. I didn't see it. Again, I wasn't following like I normally follow, and the link is in there if anybody wants to jump in. But the underdog won. Let's put it that way. The underdog won. The guy without the celebrity following, you know what I mean? The guy probably didn't have as much money. You know what I mean? The Democrat won that race, and everyone was talking about it. The article continues, a Republican takeover of the House remains very likely, but Kevin McCarthy may not have the 30-seat margin that many had predicted, raising questions about the polling and the punditry. It's clear that having finally accepted the notion of a Democrat drubbing in the final weeks of the campaign, the media may have missed a more competitive election than everyone expected. Yeah, man. Everyone's talking about that, man. They're talking about the polling. They're talking about the punditry, the talking heads, the people who are making money. These campaigns are getting fleeced. They're getting fleeced and finessed and famoosed by people who can, like, I can tell you what's going to happen. Our polling says this. We have the best polling than those people over there. And we know what America's really thinking. No one knows what people are going to do when they get into the polling booth. I can't tell you how many times I went to vote and changed my mind while I'm standing over the ballot. I'm looking at the ballot, I'm filling stuff in, and would change my mind at that moment. I can't tell you how many times that's happened, and I know I'm not the only one who's done that. So, you know, polling, but they spend tens of millions of dollars on polling, if not hundreds of millions of dollars on polling data, and they run with it like it's the gospel. And they're sitting here now like, maybe we shouldn't poll. They're always going to take polls, bro. They're always going to do it. They always going to do it. So, and it was for Senate. And Brother Jose, thanks, it was for Senate. Yeah, I was getting confused there. I'm like, wait, because, and I want to say the governor of Pennsylvania is Democrat. As you can see, like I said, I took a huge step back, and it was for Senate. So that was huge. So the Democrats took that Senate seat, but then in Ohio, they lost the Senate seat. The incumbent lost to J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, that campaign was one of the most racist campaigns I've ever seen in my life. Only reason I know is because I'm originally from Ohio. I had to go home a few times during the campaign season, and I remember seeing his commercials on TV in Ohio, in Hamilton County. They were running all the time. I'm talking about absolute rape. The stuff that he was saying on this campaign commercial blew my mind. I can't believe this is... I remember it was on in the background. I made everybody stop talking to me so I could pay attention. Like, what the hell is that? Right? Who is that guy? J.D. Vance, a former never Trumper. This guy. This shows you something about politics. But he won his race, and he's going to D.C. So what follows is a timeline of one crazy night of cable news coverage. That's pretty much standard now when it comes to elections. It was a whole lot of too early to call in the early hours. That's hardly surprising. Especially in the key Senate races where the real clear politics average had most of them within 1 percentage point or sometimes as tight as 0.4%. Yeah, these races were seriously contested, really close. But the blizzard of raw votes totals was hard to follow and highly misleading, with 7 or 8% of precincts reporting. It all depended on which parts of the state were reporting, which is, again, this is how politics works. This is how they do it when the votes come in, they count them. And people want to make sure they get accurate counts because we all this stuff with deniers and all this stuff with fake news and all this, everything is rigged and all that. So, these people who volunteered and think the people who count the votes, the poll workers and all that, they are volunteers, right? They go in there. You have some folks who are with the state, the officials, but it is augmented by volunteers. They go in there and they do a good job. They are doing their duty for the country, for their state, right? And it's a lot of pressure these days on them. To the point where the last election cycle, there's people in Georgia getting death threats for doing this, right? So shout out to those people. You talk about serving your country. They're doing a good job. Salute to all of them. So in the critical Georgia race, let's say Senator Raphael Warnock was ahead with 74% of the vote to 24% for Herschel Walker. Stacey Abrams, who I don't even know why she was running, will go on to lose for governor, was also leading incumbent Brian Kemp. So these figures were beyond meaningless. Again, this is when the information comes in. It's like the people look at this stuff and they can't believe it flips. It's like, come on, bro, you got 6% of the vote in, right? 94% of the vote is still out. And you think, oh, look, my person is up with 6% in. We're going to win. No, you got to wait for it all to come in. Silly people. Tricks are for kids. You know what I mean? And brother Jose, what's up, DLC? Thank you. No, thank you, bro, for keeping me straight, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. We got brother Rod Eric in the house, Cornerstone, Fresh and Fit Dallas. Man, I'm really missing my soundboard right now. The soundboard will be up and running for the next stream. It's just when I did my startup procedure today, I think I messed up my startup procedure. But brother Rod, putting in work behind the scenes, share the video for me, people. Let's freaking go. Thanks for your support. Yes, everything he just said and more. I appreciate that. So they're talking about the early voting and all that kind of stuff. In Pennsylvania, for instance, the state is required to count mail-in ballots only after the same day results are reported. That would mean the Democrat leaning mail ballots would come in much later, boosting Fetterman, but would be nothing suspicious about that. There will be nothing suspicious about that. This is just, again, they have their own rules when it comes to counting the votes. This is something that happens at every election. So it is what it is. It's just these elections have gotten so close. When I was a kid, dude, you would go to bed on election night and pretty much knew who won. Everyone had conceded. Everyone had said their victory speeches. That's what it was. But when Bush ran the first time, when Bush Gore, that's when this began. Like, just having these really close races. And back then it was Florida, right? Really close races. And they had to do recounts and they had to look at ballots and they had to determine what got counted and what didn't get counted. And there was people who didn't, completely. It's when you had the thing with the Chad, the hanging Chad, the pregnant Chad. Basically, you would punch a hole into the candidate that you wanted. And if that punch didn't go all the way through and completely tear the little piece of paper off, then they wouldn't count the vote. You know what I mean? Like a pregnant Chad was one where it looked like you voted for him. It was a dent, but the paper didn't come away from the ballot. And then a hanging Chad where the paper came off a little bit, but it was hanging there. So they called that a hanging Chad. And you had it was pregnant Chad, it was the hanging Chad. So you had all these different terms that came up because they're trying to figure out how to count these votes. Right here in Florida, I'm new to Florida, so I voted here. You just color in the circle, and again, it's no uniform, right? There's no uniformity. So from different counties have different ballots, and it's just crazy. They use different machines. Here in Florida, in Hillsborough County, they use a scanning machine, and they have you as the voter to actually put your vote into the scanning machine, like your ballot into the machine. It is what it is. They have their rules. They follow their rules. They're doing the best job they can. But it just shows you how there is no uniformity, when it comes to this. The states are responsible for how they run their election process, which is how it should be. But people get frustrated. Like, it is what it is. People get frustrated. And I'll go with this one. Okay. So, but yeah, that's what it is. It was eye glazing at times. as the anchors and commentators kept cautioning viewers not to put much stock in the blur of numbers on their magic walls. That makes sense. It's like, yo, they're just, you know what I mean? I was watching some of this stuff last night, you know what I mean? But I didn't watch early. I waited. I waited till way later to see what was going on. While virtually everyone expected a GOP takeover of the House, even President Biden told reporters the House would be tough. The cable networks had to go district by district to confirm that Republicans had taken control with 218 seats. And I don't think the Republicans have gotten there yet. So again, it's still up for grabs. At 8 p.m. Eastern, it would be another round of too early to call, too early in Pennsylvania Senate race, too early to say whether New Hampshire Senator Maggie Hassan could hang on against Republican retired military man Don Boduk. Still, too early to call in Georgia, where there could be a runoff if Walker or Warnock doesn't get over 50% of the vote, which it was hovering around 49%. They both had like 49 point some percent. Like, it's super close down there. When all these votes come in, if it pushes them over the 50% mark, if one of them get over 50%, then it won't be an automatic runoff. But I think you could request one if it's within a certain margin, which is probably going to be not request a runoff, but a recount. So it's probably going to be a recount. It's probably an automatic recount. So it's all kind of stuff that goes on, man. This is again, this Americans are going out voting. This, you can see right now in real time how important your vote is, and there's a lot riding on this. Only the blowout races warranted projections, including Ron DeSantis, who cruised to a landslide victory over Charlie Crist in Florida, and Marco Rubio, as well as Sarah Huckabee Sanders in Arkansas. Yeah, you know, man, shout out to Ron DeSantis, man. And I think that he did so well in Florida because of his handling of the hurricane. It was that Hurricane Ian, right? He did an outstanding job. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a huge DeSantis fan, but boy, I had to tip my hat, right, to his handling of that situation. There's another tropical storm inbound right now, and he's handling that as well with the elections going on. He's doing what he has to do as a leader. Man, he's definitely commanding his administration to take care of business. You got to give him that. And I think that's what really pushed him over, because he displayed his leadership ability when you need it. All the other stuff was whatever. All the politics and all the BS, man, whatever. When it's time to lead, he leads. So I had to shout out to Ron DeSantis. I didn't vote for him, but shout out to Ron DeSantis. And then Marco Rubio. I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised he won. I thought Val Demings had a shot. I really did. I thought Val Demings had a shot. This is an African American woman who's in Congress. She's out of Orlando. She was law enforcement. She was former chief of police in Orlando. Definitely a person who pulled herself up by the bootstraps. Back when I was younger, back in the 80s and early 90s, someone like Val Demings would have been a Republican. They absolutely would have been a Republican. And we're going to talk about that too, in this show. Like I said, when are Republicans going to start courting black folks? She should be a Republican, in my opinion. Very, very no nonsense. She's a leader. She knows how to lead from the front, right? She's not afraid to do what's best for her people and go against the party. Which, again, the only thing they had on her was like, oh, she votes with Nancy Pelosi 100% of the time. Like, come on, bro. That's all they pretty much had on her. But Marco Rubio, he ran a really good campaign, and he took that race. He took that easily. So, salute to Marco Rubio. He's going back to D.C. The pattern continued at 9. Too early to call the race between Arizona Senator Mark Kelly and Republican challenger Blake Masters, which is still too close to call right now. Kelly is ahead. It looks like Kelly is going to win that one. But again, there's a lot of votes that still need to be counted. Most of those votes are coming out of heavy Democratic, districts. However, there's a lot of rural districts that still have to, count those votes. And I'm pretty sure that there are military votes that have been mailed in. They have to count as well. So who knows? It's too close to call. But it looks like Kelly is gonna squeak that one out. Same with New York Governor Kathy Hochul and Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Too early. I think Whitmer won in Michigan. I think we go back and check the results later. Too early. It was repeated like a mantra. Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. You know what I mean? We got to count the votes. You know what I mean? We gotta count the votes. Corner Sanders is in the house. What's good, fam? Again, I don't think my sound button is working. So I'm gonna keep hitting it anyway. I don't care. I've seen an election night where so much effort was spent explaining things away, right? So it's like I've never seen an election night like this. I have. I have. It was in the last section, the last cycle. And you're gonna see this every cycle moving forward. So this author is like, I've never seen an election night where so much effort was spent explaining things away. You have to. This doesn't mean anything because the same day ballot vote hasn't come in. That's another thing to look at. That doesn't mean anything because Republican strongholds haven't come in. All right. That doesn't mean anything because it's too lopsided. Don't believe your eyes. It was like a hall of mirrors. And this is just the stuff that they were hearing. Again, this is Fox. So they're not going to paint a rosy picture, you know what I mean? Because you just keep it 100. Their people didn't do what they were anticipated to do. You know what I mean? This is why I wanted to read this article. At 10, when the polls closed in Nevada, it was repeat after me, too early to call. That state Senate race offered Republicans perhaps their best shot at a takeaway with Republican Adam Laxalt taking on Democrat Senator Christine Cortez. Mosto in Georgia, Walker had taken the lead over Warnock 49.6 to 48.5%, despite plenty of doomsaying about how he was running behind Governor Kemp. So there were all the nail biter, no doubt, too close to call. I'm sorry, now dubbed too close to call. Right, and that's all it is. And again, when you got close races, this is what it's going to look like. That Georgia Senate race is still close. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to go down to the wire, and like everyone is saying, it's going to be a runoff in December. That's how close that one is. Perhaps that's why the New York Times published tips for people, meaning Democrats, to stay calm, such as breathe like a baby or plunge your face into a bowl with ice water. Yeah, now dude's going off the rails with this, but it is what it is. When NBC projected that Maggie Hassan would hold onto her Senate seat in New Hampshire, Democrats breathed a sigh of relief. With embattled Democrats holding on to key House districts such as Abigail Spanberger in Virginia, there was growing talk, especially on MSNBC, but on other channels as well, that a red wave had not materialized. And yet, that didn't mean Republicans wouldn't wind up winning control of both houses of Congress. Again, another true statement. You know what I mean? A wave is just when you completely overtake it, like, you know what I mean, just you kicking everybody out. Obviously, that didn't happen. So, and we're going to talk about what was said on the Republican side, you know what I mean, because things were we'll talk about that here in a second. Let's see. But yeah, and it goes on by 11. So just an hourly breakdown of how people were feeling, you know what I mean? And what I was hoping in this article, it would talk about the Republicans who lost and why. I was hoping that would come. I'm just kind of scanning through it now. And so right down here, we jump down here to where it talks about Trump. Then there was the Trump factor. On election eve, Donald Trump faked out the media by having a word that he was going to announce his candidacy at an Ohio rally so he could take credit for the midterms, right? So I did hear about that. Like, you know, people were talking about, Trump's gonna, you know, he's gonna announce for the next presidential election, because you know Donald Trump really just wants to get the views, he wants to get the likes, he wants to put himself out there as, you know what I mean, I'm the man, y'all winning because of me. Now that's cool, but if you do that, you also have to accept the fact that if people lose, it's because of you. Listen, he told his advisor he was strongly considering it, and they told reporters, and many Republicans were upset at the notion that it could boost Democratic turnout yesterday. Trump sounds out advisors on a lot of things he doesn't wind up doing. But it's moot because he's now teasing a major announcement next Tuesday. I don't know whose quote that is, but Trump sounds out advisors on a lot of things he doesn't wind up doing. You know what I mean? And that might have hurt him. You know what I mean? Like I said, anytime Democrats hear Trump is involved in something, Trump's coming. They're gonna go vote. They're gonna go vote. So yeah, I mean the article did include that, but it's not. Yeah, this article isn't really giving any information as to Republicans losing or whatnot and why. It's just talking about, oh, too close to call, oh, this and that, oh, you have to educate the American people, oh, the Democrats are going crazy, they need to breathe like babies and put their face in cold water. It's not even about all that. So what happened, man? Here's the thing. This is just me talking. I dropped the link if anybody wants to come up and join, but this is just me talking right now. What happened, right? You got to look at Donald Trump, his effects on American politics right now. It is a net loss for Republicans, right? It is what it is. January 6th, that insurrection, people still remember that. Republicans and Democrats remember that. It wasn't a couple rogue people. Nah, that was an insurrection. That was an attempt to overthrow our political system. Just keep it 100. That's what it was. And you have a lot of people who are like, well, the riots and the Black Lives Matter riots and this okay, fine. But those riots weren't trying to hijack the political system. They were, people were breaking the law. They were out there looting and doing all this illegal stuff. And you know what? Those people should be caught. Those people should be prosecuted and locked up. That's what happened in D.C. These people breached our halls, our sacred halls of American politics, and they were looking for elected officials to do harm. So yeah, they're gonna have to pay for that. But people haven't forgotten, and that really hurt. You know what I mean? You got the deniers, you know what I mean? You got all the deniers like, oh, the elections are rigged and this and that. So you got people out there, and this is all coming from Trump. You got people out there who are like, why should I vote? It's all rigged anyway. So how many Republicans didn't come out to vote last night? How many Republicans didn't send their ballots in last night? And we're starting to see that. Was it 3%, 8%, 12% of people who just didn't come out and vote? If that's the case, that would have been your Republican, your red wave. Look at how close most of these races are. That's your Republican red wave right there. But if people are really believing what they're hearing, and they say, oh, well, it's all fake, it's all rigged, doesn't matter if I vote, you just shot yourself in the foot. And the biggest thing that really hurt the Republican Party on this particular election, this midterm, is overturning Roe v. Wade. I think overturning Roe v. Wade was a big, big problem. Let me read this. And you got JSWANS, he's about to come up here and break it down for y'all. Brother Doug, I hope Democrats push every single policy they want through the next 2 years. So when your small child comes home saying they want a sex change, by law, parents will have to oblige. Hey, man, you're right about that. I'm not happy with the woke left. I'm not happy at all. You know what I mean? Hey, bro, you won't get no argument out of me. And Roe v. Wade was the key factor. Absolutely was. Jay Swans, what's good, fam? How you feeling?
Chilling. Sorry, man. I thought we were doing the other show. I just saw this.
I was gonna do it, but I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This was just big, and I know you and I were talking about this. So just so y'all know, Jay Swans and I, we talk about politics a lot, and he's always like, let's do this show, and I'm like, oh, let's do something else. But this one I had to talk about. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Remember you asked me about this. You was like, oh, it's gonna be a red wave. I'm like, man, I don't know. Remember we were talking about that?
I didn't think it was gonna be a red wave anyway, man. I mean, cats have gone too far. The people with the common sense that are sitting in the middle, like, well, hold on. I just saw Doug's comment about, I hope they push through every policy, and your kid wants a sex change, you got to do it. Come on now, that's just silly. I mean, facts, bro. That's just silly. That's so far on the fringe.
Hey, listen, that's worth the conversation, though. Over on Black Man Unfiltered, this is a conversation that black folks are having. I keep trying to tell people the Republicans need to holler at black people. This is a conversation that black parents are really having right now because, man, look, my daughter, you know what I'm saying? Our little people. Yeah. I was in school asking her, like, what's going on? There is a push, it seems, in the schools to have these young kids, young boys, dating and hanging out and holding hands and everything with boys and girls doing the same thing with girls. It's there, man. I had to have a
Really?
talk. Yeah, bro. It's there. It's there. So, and that's a separate conversation.
Yeah. I was gonna say, but I mean, it just seems like, like the people on the fringe, they've now found that voice. Like we talked about, like, cats that are, am I trying to say here? Like them weirdos that never had anybody to talk to or anybody to hang out with, but was all about them crazy theories and this and that. Now
Yeah,
they found
the basement dwellers. The basement dwellers.
yeah, now they found the other basement dwellers. Now they found other ones that they can kind of bounce their theories off of. So they throw out all kinds of craziness. But if the people who actually, have common sense, the ones that actually think, the people that are in the middle that think for themselves, vote for what's best for them. When those people start coming out, then the party system falls apart. And, and you're watching it happen right now. I mean, are there extremes on both sides? Hell yes. Is some of this shit ridiculous? Yes. You know what I mean? But it's conversations that we need to have. Sorry, Martin just walked by. Martin just scooted by all creepy on me, man. I know what that was.
I saw the door open and close behind you, bro. I'm like, oh, what's going on, bro? Check your six, homie. I'm like, check your six.
It's God. It's God speaking and opening doors.
Like, for real, bro. But let's see. Bob can build.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna catch up with the chat real quick. Bob can build. What's good, brother? This is the first time you've been on here. Welcome. All people I know under 30 voted blue because of Roe v. Wade. Yeah, man, that was huge. I would say that would be 60 to 75% of the reason that they lost out on this blue wave. Let's see, brother Doug. I hope more trans women beat natural women in sports. Hilarious. Go Democrat girls. No longer get athletic scholarships. Hey, man, we were talking about that affirmative action thing. We'll get to that in a little bit. Sister Candace in the house. What's good, love? My button don't work, but I'm going to hit the horn anyway. I don't think you can hear that. And Brother Doug, I hope there are more elementary school field trips to drag queen bars. Go Democrats.
See, all that stuff right there, like that gets people who are already on the edge, borderline crazy. That gets them like, yeah, he's right. Yeah. I'm like, come on, man.
But it gets the rest of us like Sister Candace, like, he's like, good afternoon, talking to Doug, good afternoon, you are in rare form today.
Just laughing at him. Just laughing at him. You know what I'm saying? But there's people out there that be thinking that, man. You know what I mean? They be thinking about that kind of like, oh, that's going to happen. I'm like, come on, man. Like, it's funny to me, when people say stuff like, you get your kid around, the gays, they're going to turn out to be gay. And I'm like, man, look, man, my uncle was gay and I spent summers with him and everything else. And I'm so far from being gay. My kids are growing up with gay people all around them. They so far. I'm like, look, y'all. I hate to look. Let me break this down for America right now. There are a lot more gay people than you realize. You got friends that you think are not gay are gay. You know what I mean? I hate to tell you that. And it didn't get made gay. You know what I mean? They didn't wake up and find something stuck in them and go, ooh, I like that. No. You know what I mean? Yeah. They was already there. The difference is that, when we were growing up, we shamed them people. You know what I mean? The weirdo gay kid in class. We made fun of that kid. Whether it was right or wrong, we did that, so they hid themselves. It's not happening like that no more, so they coming out of the closet. Just like every other weirdo group. I can't say weirdo, I'm sorry. Every other group in society that was hidden for a long time, they're coming out now. You know what I mean? They're all coming out. And like I said, just like the gay people, they've been there forever. Now they're not afraid to hide themselves anymore. The white supremacist people, everybody's like, I can't believe this. No, they've been there forever. They don't feel the need to hide themselves no more. And that's kind of what the thing is. And that's why everybody's freaking out. And like we talked about the other day, I think part of it is, I don't know if you want me to talk about this because, but I mean, I think part of it is that white males are losing power. That I get what I get because of who I am is not happening anymore. And I think that's freaking some people out too. They're not just walking in the room and getting the respect that they used to. I think that's also become a struggle. And I know you don't want to.
No, it's like now you're in the real race. It is what it is. But now you're in the real race. You know what I mean? It's like, so you went from my competitor in life got a huge head start and a lot of resources that I didn't get. Yeah. But I caught his ass, right? I caught his ass. And in most cases, I passed his ass. Now, they don't even get that benefit. You got to start at the starting line with me. So that I can see that. There's a lot of people angry, and I've been asking. We talk about this, like, why are these people so angry? That's
Yeah,
one of the factors. There are other factors out there for other folks, but that's one of them.
I believe that wholeheartedly. I think that. Look at it like, I don't know. It's a theory I heard about ants, right? We see ants all the time, right? We don't pay attention to them because they don't matter to us. We just kind of move past them. They're not even on our level. It's like that with people. There's many people that I've met in my life that I'm like, bro, you ain't even on my level. You're not a factor for me. I'm not even paying attention to you. And I think that's how certain parts of America have gone through their lives. You know what I mean? That, and I hate using the black-white thing, but you get the white guy whose parents are friends with the guy that owns the steel mill or whatever, and he makes him a supervisor. The black guy that's trying to get a job doesn't even matter to him. He could be the smartest person in the world. It doesn't even matter. And now the guy that owns the steel mill is like, yeah, I know you're so-and-so's son, but I need someone who can get the job done. So I'm bringing this black guy in. But wait, I'm this guy. It doesn't matter. I need the best I can get. And I think that's what's going on now, and that's freaking people out. And
I'll take it a step further. It's not just the black guy, but it's the Asian guy, the Latin guy,
I was going to say, the woman, the gay man, the transgender guy, you know what I mean? That's what's going on right now. And they're freaking out. And that's why you got people acting like this. That's why they're voting like this now. That's why the fringe that's why people are like, okay, like Doug was saying all that stuff. That's why there's people out there that are like, yeah, he's right. They're making our kids gay. No, they're not. Your kid was gay.
No, well, again, that's a separate conversation. But no, it's not that I don't want to talk about it. I do, but that one deserves its own show. But I will say this: I agree with what you are saying. What concerns me is our society are giving children legal status. They're letting the child decide at 12, 13, 14 years old.
We talked about that. Yeah.
That's the problem.
I don't know what level of decision making they're giving these kids, but I do know, like I said, I talked to you about that when I took, JD to the doctor. And the doctor, like, can I talk to your son privately? He had to ask my son permission to talk to me. And I'm like, I'm the one paying the bill. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you gonna? But I don't know how long that's been going on. I mentioned it to somebody last night and they said, oh, that's been going on for years. I just never.
I'll tell you this. This is new for me and my daughter.
Well, I was gonna say, hold on. I was gonna say, because remember, this was when JD was 13, so that was like what, almost 10 years ago.
Right, and we were both in California, so I didn't. They, you know what I mean. But again, mine was much younger. I had elementary school age. You were like middle school, high school age. So again, that number is they're starting to give children legal status, and that's scary. That's a very, very slippery slope.
And here's the thing about that though. I see the reasoning for some of it. I don't like it, but especially when it comes to sexual activity. You have parents that'll be understanding and talk about it, and then you have parents that'll be abusive.
Yep.
It's. I don't have the answers. I don't have the answer. I wish I did. But back to the voting block though. But I think this is why, America's changing. It's changing. It really is. And we're watching it play out. As crazy as stuff is right now, this is a beautiful time to be alive because you're watching history. You're actually watching stuff they're going to talk about in the history books. And
real time. Yep. This is a major. This is a major shift in American politics, in an American way of life. It's just like living through the civil rights struggle. Yeah, it was blatant and everything, but you were living. Those people who lived through that, they lived through a major shift. And then before that, the Civil War. You know what I mean? So this is one of those times, y'all. I hope y'all paying attention. I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch this. This is interesting. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, seriously. I think the Supreme Court, outside of Roe versus Wade, I think the fact that the Supreme Court has now said that precedent no longer matters. That's huge right now.
Really huge.
Yeah, gay marriage is on, can be on the agenda. Hell, interracial marriage, Brown versus the Board of Education. Once again, those are extremes, but there's people out there that will call for that. Things were better when we were segregated. We should go back to that. Someone could say that. And then what? And then what happens?
For real. And then, Sister Follow, biggest problem I've seen is we're voting against things out of fear instead of things in confidence. Yeah, absolutely. And that's done by design.
That's exactly what
Brother
it is.
does comment. Yeah, Brother does comment. I can't read, but I got to read on that. If that's the case, that's insane.
Yeah, that's crazy.
About this. Yeah, if that's the case, it could be. There's a lot of wildness jumping off, y'all. There's a lot of wildness. I'm not
you know, that right there is just, you know.
I'm not gonna dismiss it. You know what I mean?
I can't even. Yeah, you can't even. You know, I mean, I can't even fathom that. I don't see any type of benefit of having that conversation. So it doesn't even make any sense to me.
But if it is in fact a thing, then that's something that has to be addressed ASAP.
Yes.
Right? It has to be addressed ASAP. Sister Follow again. The other is that neither side is bringing men to the polls addressing their top concerns. And here's the thing. I'm glad y'all brought that up. And I also want to read. I'm gonna catch up. Brother Doug. Oh, so I'm not crazy. Well, you know, we all crazy.
No, hold on. Doug, post that link where it says that he wants to teach kids anal sex in middle school. Post that link up so we can take a look at that.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
And don't verbalize that, bro. That'll shut us down. That's one of those.
And don't be like, what was he saying before about all that conspiracy stuff? And you're like, oh yeah, it was the Hunter Biden. You know, I had all the information on my phone, but the government tapped my phone and deleted it all.
We still gonna run this. Yeah, we're still gonna run the show on Hunter Biden. Give me time. I'm gathering information. I'm trying to find some people to talk about that. So Sister Follow's statement, and Sister Cannon's statement is what I wanted to focus on right now. Women vote more. Women are the majority of the consumer base. There is no incentive for men issues to be addressed by political candidates. Wrong as it may be, and that's what I mean. Like, so, go ahead.
I was gonna say that right there. And here's the problem: women are going to college more. Women are getting more jobs. Women are getting in all kinds of career fields. Even the STEM stuff, women are doing this, and you know, and that's once again, it's got men freaking out. You know what I mean? No, don't post it on his Instagram, man. Post that right up here in the link so everybody can see it. Don't be trying to post it over there. I want to see that.
I'm gonna send it to you, JSWANS. You send it to me, I'm gonna send it to you. You know what I mean? You send it to me, I'm gonna send it to you. It's all good. You know what I mean? It's information. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. Men might start coming around. Like you just don't know. Like when these numbers come back, when they break down by gender and race and all that stuff, which they do with every election, we're gonna see if men are coming out to vote. Again, these votes are so tight. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say the way things are right now, the way that, you know, what I guess a lot of these people, once again, I don't know about this red pill, blue pill crap, but it seems like a lot of those people in that world was the manosphere, is that what you call it? They're gravitating towards a type of strong man that doesn't adjust and doesn't change and doesn't admit that he's wrong. You know, they seem to be gravitating towards that. And if that's their sense of, you know, of manhood, then they won't change. They'll double down on it.
No matter what they gravitate, will they go vote is the question. That's the question. Will they go vote? Would that become another voting block that becomes important in American politics, like the manosphere voting block or the male vote period? Like, you know what I mean? Will that be a thing? And if so, will we start to see a shift?
I don't think so. I don't think it will be a thing, because if the playbook keeps going the way that it is, they'll just literally pout, fold their arms, and, you know, just sit around and grunt. They won't go out there and vote. They won't educate themselves on what the issues are, or they'll be easily manipulated. You know, I'm just like you. Yeah, I'm just like you, blah, blah, blah. And they'll vote him in. And then that person will be like, okay, cool. Now I'm just here for the money and here for the ladies, you know, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, you're dealing with a different group. You know, you're dealing with that Gen Z, you know, millennial group now. They're the ones coming in. You know, Generation X, that's us, right? So, you know, we're on our way out, slowly on our way out. So it's you know, I don't know what motivates Gen Z and, you know, and the millennials. So we'll see. And obviously the politicians don't either, because we just had that brother out of Orlando, that Gen Z, who's 25 years old, that beat the incumbent who was 72. No, he wasn't an incumbent. He was 72 years old, a Green Beret, got beat by a 25-year-old Gen Z guy out there in Orlando.
Politics are changing. Who knows?
Yeah. These kids have grown up different than we grew up. I mean, a lot of things that, his platform is all about gun reform. He got involved with that Parkland shooting stuff, and he just kind of ran with it. And so I said, what motivates them is different. What they consider a strong man might be different. I don't know.
Well, we're going to find out. And that's what again, y'all, we're living through a part of American history that is really exciting. He says it, and I say it all the time. It's like, bro, this is crazy. Who saw this coming? Yeah. Brother MANDRELL, the Republicans don't care. They're not going to do anything to help black people. They will if black people step up and become relevant. How you become relevant? Raise money, right? Show, be able to move the electorate one way or the other. Until then, I would have to agree with Brother MANDRELL.
I was going to say he's right. I mean, because because what was it? Donald Trump's done more for black people than any other president in history, except Lincoln. And and here's the messed up part. Like, there's black people that believe that, right. And that's the scary part. I mean, they're right. Neither party is going to do anything for us as a people until we start making ourselves relevant. They watched us elect Obama. People and black people, the first time black people did that. I mean, they was out there, dancing in the streets like they was watching the Black Panther the first time, dancing in the movie theater.
Right. Everybody Wakanda forever. So before it was Wakanda, but go ahead.
Yeah, that shook people up. That shook them politicians up like, oh shit. And they were motivated until the next election when, we did not vote in force for Obama. A lot of people just didn't vote because, they realized that he wasn't doing the things that they thought he was going to do. So instead of them going out and voting, for what they wanted, they just didn't vote. And we lost that power that we had for a brief second. And that's the problem. We have to get out there and vote. Anybody that says, and I'll tell you right now, this is me on my soapbox, brother. I know I've told you this. Anybody says I don't vote because it doesn't matter. If you're a black person and you say you don't vote because it doesn't matter, you know what? Fuck you. Okay? Because, we got family members. Okay? So we're not that far removed. Family members that died for your right to vote. I mean, think about that. That got beat for your right to vote. And your attitude is, well, it don't matter. I'm not going to waste my time. That's just ignorant. You know what I mean? That's just completely ignorant.
And it goes to our lack of education and our lack of love for education in this country. People don't want to know stuff. Those are just ignorant folks. And like Jay, you made a real good point. The black vote came out in force, unlike ever before in our lifetime, when Obama was running for president of the United States, and it made an impact, and it showed that the black vote is a sleeping giant, but no one can figure out how to get that giant to wake up and stay up, because you had everyone voting. You know what I mean? Black men and women voted, and it did make a difference. And then we all went away. If we can figure out a way to keep that giant awake, then guess what, people? You're gonna start getting some black issues looked at. You're gonna start getting some money coming your way. That's how it works.
Well, I think part of it is to stop teaching our kids to sit around and complain about stuff, and start coming up with solutions and look for solutions. I mean, I don't understand how anybody votes a party, but doesn't vote what's best for them. That to me, I talked to you about, one of my neighbors who has all these student loans, but I'll never vote for, I'll never vote for anybody. I don't care if he pays off all my student loans. I'll never vote for him. Why not?
Why not?
You I mean?
Get to vote for this cycle. Yeah, you get to vote for this cycle. I'll go back to my people after this, but because my people ain't talking about that. People don't. I can't hit the button, but it's the old think tank. You know what I mean? Yeah. They don't put it through the think tank. Sister Candace, some would attribute Stacey Abrams' loss, again, yes, that's her second one, to the fact that she failed to address black male issues.
I would say she's a bad candidate. She's a bad candidate.
Bad candidate, you know what I mean? And I allegedly she's part of the LGBT, the Alphabet Clan. She's a part of that, allegedly. So yeah, you're gonna lose a lot of votes, not just male votes, but female votes. You know what I mean? Black male and black women. Coming out of Georgia, that should be a shoe-in. Like, you're down in Georgia, like that's the biggest, the strongest, I would say the strongest African-American voting bloc in America, or at least one of them. You know what I mean? Georgia, and you can't win there.
No, you got Philly too. Yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know. I think she was just a bad candidate. I mean, I really do. I don't think it had, I mean, I guess anybody's issues not being addressed is a problem. But I just felt like she was a bad candidate. I mean, from the start, why would you run her again? You know, I mean, what has she done to, you know, I mean, like she you know, she helped get, you know, the vote out, I guess. But I mean, but what else has she done? Like, what has made her a viable candidate? Like, that's the best y'all can do in Georgia? Well, hold on, I can't be mad at Georgia because they got Herschel Walker up there too. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, but that's the best y'all can do. Like my boy here said, that the best candidates we can do is Biden and Trump. Man, the country's just a wreck.
We got a problem.
You know, but I mean, Stacey Abrams, and she's just a bad candidate.
Yeah, and she lost twice.
We said that. What have the Democrats done? We don't know. You know what I mean? Like, what have they done? I know they called us super predators in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know,
shout out to Joe Biden. Shout out to Hillary Clinton. Yeah, we were super predators. Not just predators, super predators. They were talking about me. They weren't talking about JSWANS. They weren't talking about him. Wait, let me get over here. They weren't talking about him. They was talking about me being a super predator.
About you. Yeah.
and then Brother Doug, like Senator Mack was the twerking senator. Word? Man,
I heard about her.
Said, yeah, that's oh my God, man. That's terrible.
That's that. See, and that goes back to that Gen Z millennial wild shit. Like, why would you vote for that? Like, how was that representing? Yeah, how was that representing? I mean, if that's what you feel represents you, then it's your right to vote for it.
You know what I'm saying? And Brother Doug, last thing, when I hear people say Republicans won't help black people, I want to know what's the black agenda besides reparations.
See, here we go again, right? It's not about the party, okay? It's what are they going to do for what's best for us? And until we start making our voices heard and we become a viable voting block that's constant, you know, we're going to keep running into the same stuff. So it's not about what are the Republicans going to do, what the Democrats going to do. It's like, what are we going to make them do for us? You know, we can't sit here and just bitch and moan about, oh, this ain't right and that's ain't right. What kind of solutions are we bringing? Are we bringing people to the polls? I mean, that's the problem. And we're not getting to the polls. We're more likely to go out and buy, you know, Kanye's next CD than we are to go vote. Now, come on now. That's ridiculous. But that's the truth, though. You know what I mean? That's the truth. You know, cats going to spend more time arguing about Kyrie Irving than they are about, you know, policies that affect them in the government. I mean, they looking at, like I said, it took away Roe versus Wade. The Republicans are looking at Social Security, like how they can, you know, mess that up.
They're also looking at affirmative action. They're looking at affirmative action, y'all. That's another thing. Women, that's going to affect y'all more. It's going to affect men. You know what I mean? So, and women are going to rise up.
Who benefits from them taking affirmative action away? Only one block of people benefit from that.
The same block you were mentioning earlier, that they're losing their benefits.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
It is what it is. And that's where the money's at. That's where the money's at, bro. You know what I mean? So, hey, man, if that makes us conspiracy theory guys, man, go ahead. Somebody give me a tinfoil hat or whatever the hell they wear. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead, man. Yeah. Do your thing.
Sister Follow, the Republicans allow more of an opportunity for blacks to thrive without government intervention than the Democrats do. Whether black people take up the opportunity is on them. Again, all politics is local, y'all. So
I see. And that right there, like, they give blacks more of an opportunity to thrive on their own. It's up to them to take the opportunity. I'm like, I think both parties will give you the opportunity to thrive on your own. It's just that the Republicans, I mean, the Democrats, maybe they'll throw you more of a safety net. But you got the same, it doesn't matter who's in power. I mean, you got the same opportunities on both sides. So that's not even a valuable argument.
Yeah, and you look at, I mean, again, you look at, when you make that statement, and we're going to talk about the two parties, it's the Republican Party that's coming after the Roe v. Wade thing, which, hey, man, I'm cool with. I ain't going to lie. I'm cool with. It's just people like, oh, so you're a pro-lifer. It's like, nah, I don't have any choice as a man. I don't have any reproductive rights. So I'm not going to fight for somebody else to have them. That's just the way I look at it.
Like I said, we talked about this. I don't believe in abortion, but I do believe that, you know, a woman has a right to choose. You know what I mean? And it comes down, and this, for me, it comes down to this. If I had a daughter and my child came home pregnant, all right, and she was raped or anything, you know, if she had sex with somebody and she's like 13 years old, 12 years old, no, we want that option, because I'm not going to have her life ruined. I mean, it's just a mess. And then on top of that, if you take that option away, okay, how many women do you think will, you know, that one night stand or whatever, or if this and that happened, oh crap, I don't want to have this baby. Well, you can only have an abortion if you've been raped. Okay, he raped me.
Well, here's the thing, though. I'm with you on that, and I want to stay away from the R word because that's another one that the algorithm will shut us down. Yeah, that's why I like to keep. I don't bring you on for those topics because I'm like, I know he's gonna forget. So,
I'm just gonna say it. I'm like, yo. Yeah. I mean, really though. I mean, here's
the thing. Here's the thing. I'm with you. My only problem with that option is this: only females have an option. Males should have an option as well. Granted, the male cannot dictate what happens to the female, but in our society, the female in our society can dictate what happens to the male. That's my problem with it. The option should extend to the male. Once the child gets here, all right, I want to walk away. And that should be a thing. You should be allowed to because the female can. You can bring that child into the world and then walk away. You ain't got to pay for nothing. Right? And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not. All I'm saying is, why would I fight for women to have an option that I don't get? Why would I fight to keep women from being oppressed when I'm being oppressed? Well, that's my only point.
Because in that instance, it's bigger than just you. You know what I mean? It's bigger than just you in that instance. And like I said, there's other factors that play into that. Like I said, you have a daughter and she comes home pregnant.
I agree with you. All I'm saying is this. You have sons. If they have one misstep and they wind up with some ratchet 304, and now they gotta deal with that woman for the rest of their life legally, no. They should have the choice to. I'm not saying that they would choose not to deal with that woman. I'm pretty sure they would. They would take care of their responsibility. They were raised right. But they should have the option. That's my only point.
And like I said, and this is where I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer.
I do. I got the answer. You do. You get your wallet, your choice. You get a choice, guy. You get a choice, right? You get a choice.
I mean, but that's I mean, I don't know.
If one gets a choice, if we're talking about justice, if one gets a choice, both should have the choice. That's my only thing on that. And if you're not going to give the choice, then at least mandate the fact that at least you get 50% of your to be in your child's life. In other words, it's 50-50 when you go to court. Let's do away with all this nonsense with child support. If you got an individual, you got a grown man who's willing to be involved in his child's life, it should be 50-50 when you go to court. That should be the law of the land.
Well, I mean, those are my problems. So back to the whole thing of like, I'm not going to fight because I don't get a choice. I mean, that's just, man, I mean, I'm sitting there and I see what you're saying, but it's like I said, it's bigger than just that. You know what I mean? It's bigger than that.
And it's one thing I wanted to point out. I do want to point out. Y'all know this is my brother right here. Like I said, we're over 30 years in. Do you see how we go back and forth, people? Do you see how it's supposed to work, people? Yeah. Right? He's not going to back me simply because I said it. I'm not going to back him simply because he said it. But guess what? We could be having this debate. It could turn into an argument, but we could punch each other over it. But then we're going to have ourselves a cognac and laugh about it. And if he calls me and says, I got drama, I need you up here, I'm dropping everything and I'm coming up there to deal with the drama. Right? I'm there for him. This is how it should work, guys. I want to take this moment. Y'all want some real red pill shit? This is it. This is what I'm talking about. Loyalty. You know what I mean? Honor.
It's not even that. It's just that it's okay to have different opinions. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I mean, I think society has lost that. I mean, it's nothing wrong with having a different opinion. We're all adults, and the key is listen to both sides of it. And I don't know, I guess y'all are watching this and you're seeing us both sitting back, kind of looking up, like, listening, like, I mean, because look, I don't know everything. He doesn't know everything. And all we're doing is we're basing things off our opinion. And then we're going to vote what's best for us.
What's best for us and our family. Yes. And I get it. He understands my point. I understand his point. But we're still I don't know. Right?
And there you go. Exactly. I know exactly what you're coming from. I mean, I know exactly. We've talked about this stuff. And I'm sitting there like, damn, yeah. And, and if y'all didn't notice, I kept saying, I don't have the answers. And I don't. I don't have the answers. I mean, a lot of this stuff is extremely complicated. The border situation, ultra complicated. Abortion, ultra complicated.
We need to shore up the border, not because of immigrants, but because of what people can sneak into this country and hurt us with. You see what's going on in Ukraine right now. You see all this talk about nukes and dirty bombs. People out there want to hurt this country. That is the best way, one of the best ways to get it in. right? That's one of the best ways. Simple, point blank, periods, keeping it 100.
You know, not even that. You know the best way to hurt this country. You want to jam this country up? Nah, I better not say that.
Yeah, don't say it because somebody do it.
I was gonna say, there's you know what? Make people afraid to go to the grocery store. That's all you got to do.
People are afraid to go to the grocery store. They're afraid to go to school. They're afraid to go to church.
Make them truly afraid. No, right now they're nervous. You know what I mean? Make them truly afraid, and that's all you got to do. And it's easy to do. And I think I don't want to go down.
I don't want to go down.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm dancing around. You know, you see where I'm dancing? I'm like,
You dancing too close to it. There's too many weirdos out there, yo.
Yeah, and right now you got people. Yeah, and right now you got people voting out of fear. You know what I mean? Instead of wanting to grow, their nation or their family or their situation, they're voting out of fear. And that's where we have a problem. And the way you control society is you keep them uneducated. So people, the education system is failing. It's been failing for years. You keep them uninformed, which the news media has become, a moneymaker versus, news, and you keep them afraid. The brown people are coming to take your jobs. And like I said this before, my son is the one that said this. If you are worried about someone with a third grade education that doesn't speak English coming to take your job, you've already failed in life. You need to revisit yourself right there.
Here's one other aspect that you need to add to that. They're allowing people to self-medicate. You see what they're doing with you see what they're doing with marijuana. You see all this. Prices are going up on everything except alcohol. You can always go out and buy you a $10 bottle or whatever. Think about that. You know what I mean? Gas, milk, everything else is going up. Alcohol and drugs stay the same price. Why? They want you to be able to self-medicate. They want you to be able to forget about your problems. Brother Mark is in the house. What's good, bro? Hey, Brother Mark is on Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm doing a veterans show. Man, make sure you show up, man. You got to come up, man. JSWANS, Marcus was a recon Marine. You know what I mean? So make sure you show up, Devil Dog. Let me say it in Marine so you understand. Rah, 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 Friday. Rah, 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 be there. Yo, I mean, we doing it, man. So Veterans Day show. The thumbnail is out, guys. It's going to be a cool time. We're going to have nothing but vets on the panel, and we're just going to be talking about our different experiences in the military and how it went down. I'm trying to get a hold of Miss Globe Girl. I would love to have her on there. She was in the Navy. Like I said, she had a couple deployments. We're going to have Army guys on there. Anybody who's serving the Air Force, make sure y'all show up for that show, man. We want to hear y'all stories, too. I want to know how, did everyone have a hot tub in their room in the Air Force? Was that everyone or just the E3s? I don't understand.
What was it like when they transitioned from vinyl chairs to leather?
Yeah, was it rough? Like it was it. I mean, I want to know what was going on in the Air Force. But Sister Follow, yes, the victimhood mentality thrives off of fear. That's how the Democrats hold their power. And once you teach generations not to critically think, they've got your vote for life. Ain't that the truth? You know what I mean? That is, I have to agree with that. Sister Candace, remember JSWANS, the black community tried to cancel Ice Cube when he tried to make change and address issues plaguing our community. So we got Tommy B in the house. What's good, bro? I'll sing the boy up in a second. Brother Doug, let's see. That's why I asked, what's the black agenda besides reparations? And I never get an answer. There's a lot to that, bro. Like that's very layered. You know what I mean? So what's the black agenda? You know what I mean? Police reform. That's 100% a black agenda issue, right? We got police reform out there. Law enforcement killing way too many African Americans. Yes, education reform, which is an everybody issue, but it really disproportionately hurts the black community. There's a lot of money. Reform. Medical reform.
Yeah, that's. I mean that's right. Yeah, that's a whole lot.
There are tons of issues, Brother Doug. You know what I mean? Like there are people out there who champion these issues, right? How come black banking? How come there are no incentives for African Americans to put their money in black banks? Right? I mean, that's something that could be handled a little bit.
Well, say part of the problem is you got people up there, arguing that Kanye West is some undercover genius, and they focused on that. Because they don't want to know they don't want to come up with an agenda. It's easier just to keep people dancing. I mean.
It really is. Brother Tommy B, what's good, man? Showing up. We got the West Coast in the house, man. How you feeling?
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Yo, it's early out there.
Yes. He out there in Oakland, bro. You know what I mean? JSWANS from Sacramento, man. I was down to LA for a minute, man. So we feel your pain, player.
Yeah, for real.
Oh yeah, I'm right up the way from Sac right now. I'm in Stockton, so I'm about 45 from Sac.
Oh, bro, you in the hood?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely. Yo, man, JSWANS know all about that, man. He got people through there, you know what I mean? He ain't grew up there, you know what I mean? I grew up in Cincinnati, man. I came out, you know, I grew up the way you grew up. But Brother Tommy, what are your thoughts so far, man?
So on your topic, I've been saying that for a while now. I got some Republican friends, and I used to kind of explain that to them. That's why I tell people I'm not on either side, because I think the Democrats are idiots. I think Republicans are idiots. The Republicans constantly embrace racist people, and they try to talk to us like we're idiots, as if we don't see it in our face. Now, in saying that, I'm not saying that, all Republicans are. Of course, that'd be dumb. But when they see it from their own, they don't denounce it. When they're supported by those type of people, they don't denounce it, or they take their time denouncing it because they want those votes. And as long as they think that they can get their job done without us, they don't see a reason to embrace us. It's like, it is what it is. If you come, you come. If you don't, you don't. And because of that, that's why black people are being so reluctant to go there. And so that's why I kind of get on people that act like black people are idiots for not voting for Republicans. Because I'm just like, we see the bullshit they doing too. So I'm not one of these people that, like when the last time we had a governor race, I didn't vote for Newsom. I can't stand that dude. But so I'm not on either side. But I just hate when people act like black people are making up what they think about Republicans. It's like, nah, they do what they do. Like we're not dumb. So I just think a lot of black people, it's probably what we need to change is if they tend to vote emotionally instead of just logically. And
Yes.
Republicans don't, emotionally fuck with us. They'll say, I remember they had one of them dudes on the TV the other day basically saying black people ain't contributed shit to the America. It's been all white folks. And like it just swept under the rug. And when we see shit like that, we like, fuck y'all. It just is what it is, and the crazy part about it is I've talked to a Republican and we kind of had this conversation. And he was saying something about, well, it's the values. I'm like, well, what's the values? And every value he named off, I'm like, that's black people. But they don't even know, the religion. I'm like, black people love Jesus way more than y'all do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and as far as taxes, like all of that stuff. That's why I tell people, I tend to straddle the fence. Because I think most people in reality do. I don't like taxes, but I also don't give a fuck about weed. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not no full red or full blue. I'm in the middle. It literally goes issue by issue. It's not I'm full this or for that. Some issues I might lean red. Some issues I might lean left. It is what it is. That's why anybody that I see that leans fully one way or the other, I look at a little bit funny too. No matter what issue I'm left, no matter what issue I'm right. Now I'm looking at you like you're just a robot. It's not reality.
It's your team.
That's real tough. So now we got a panel up here. It's a question I want to ask both you brothers, man. I'll ask the question. We'll go with JSWANS first, and then Brother Tommy can follow up. Will Trump run again? 1, and 2. Does the Republican Party value Trump's base after this election?
We talked about this earlier. I definitely think Trump is going to attempt to run again. And if he gets a nomination, his VP is going to be that lady out of Arizona, the one that's running for governor. And the only reason he's going to do it, I believe, is because, the indictment that's coming. He's going to have to get indicted. All right. And the way he's going to be able to stave that off, or he believes he'll be able to stave that off, is that he'll have enough people in the Congress and in the Senate that, will back him there. And then he'll have that immunity because he's an active candidate running. Now, can he win? I don't think so. And as far as hurting the party, I definitely think it hurts the Republican Party. If you look up and down the ticket now, a lot of the election deniers, a lot of them lost.
Yeah,
a whole lot of them lost.
L's. They took L's. They got beat up on a little bit.
So, I mean, but no, I don't think he's good for the party. But I do think that he's going to run again.
All right. And Brother Tommy, what are your thoughts?
I don't think they value him. I think they just value the numbers he can give them. As far as him, I don't think they can stand him because we all know he's not a real Republican. You know, and I think they know his base is the extreme. So I don't think they necessarily value him as more as they just value the disruption that he causes towards the other side. He's like a trigger for the other side, and I think they kind of enjoy that. But as far as him, yeah, I don't think they necessarily. I think he has like a niche audience, and I think they value their audience. I don't know if they value him like per se as a person, but I think he'll run again.
See, that's what's up, man. And just so y'all know, shout out to Black Man Unfiltered. He did a show last night that was debunking all the negative stereotypes about men. One of those stereotypes is how black men are we just make babies and run away and we don't take care of our kids. And as y'all can hear, Brother Tommy is a dad at home taking care of his kids. So shout out to you, bro. I wish my damn soundboard was working so I can give you sounds for that, but it's not. But that's what I'm talking about, bro. And he's taking care of business in the community and all that. So, man, just wanted to give you your flowers. Let me catch up on the chat real quick. Sister Lady Hale's in the house. What's good, love? Thanks for coming through. It's a pleasure to see you. Among our people are lazy to think through things. I think that's what you mean. If our people, black people, would stop being so emotional and rational, the political impact we can make would be incredible. Yeah, I agree with you. Kind of like we were saying earlier, I really believe that the black vote is a sleeping giant. Sister Follow, once the family unit is destroyed, then the crime skyrockets. Examples of this dynamic can be seen in Detroit, Chicago, and now Cali and New York. Yeah, I saw that growing up in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? Cleveland, Columbus, Louisville, Lexington. It is what it is. When you destroy the nuclear family, you got a problem. The Sosa's in the house. What's good, love? Sister Candace, I vote issues, not party. Same here. Brother Jose, that's where socialism comes in. Wow, that's a good point, though. You got to be scared. You got to be careful on that. Wonderful 34 is in the house. What's good? Again, my soundboard's down, so I can't hit my horn like I like to. But I'm glad you're here.
Hey, you know what? That's something that's interesting, though. I always hear people say, I speaking with somebody last night actually, talking about, I don't vote party. I vote policy or this and that. But I sat there and heard someone argue stuff that was just completely outrageous. And to the point where I told you about this, the other Republicans in the room were laughing at me.
Not just Republicans, hardcore types.
Yeah, hardcore, yes. We're shaking her head, laughing at her, and her Republican theory. So I mean, people say that all the time, but I wonder how many people actually really do that. How many people actually really do vote policy versus party? And I bet you it's very few.
Yeah, people want that sense of belonging. You know what I mean? People have, the tribes and their teams and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan for life, right? But when the Bengals are messing up, I'm the first one to tell the Bengals. You know what I mean? I'm in their comments. I'm telling my people, make sure they hear this. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna be backing the Bengals simply because, you know what I mean, I'm a Bengals fan. They still gotta perform. They gotta perform.
Hey, but you know what though? That's how you and I have lived our lives, I guess, since we've known each other. I mean, our whole lives is that when we're, like you said, we'll ride with each other, but if we're wrong, we'll tell each other we're wrong. Yep. You told me stuff like that on more than one occasion. We had some serious stuff to talk about, a couple years ago. And you're like, brother, you are fucked up. It's wrong. So, I mean, I think that's part of America that we're missing out on. I mean, we've stopped telling each other that.
Right.
The most valuable asset you have is your name. Yep. That is the most valuable asset you have. And a lot of people will disagree, but I believe that wholeheartedly. I've gotten more done with just my name.
Yeah, go ahead, brother Tom.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
I was gonna say the funny thing about it is I'm sure when you do those critiques of the Bengals, the other fans you're not a real fan because I go through the same shit.
Exactly.
Right. Every year we go to Super Bowl, I'm like, no, we not. Oh, you're not a real fan. I'm like, no,
you must be a Raider fan, huh?
Yeah, man, it's hard out here for a fan. It's hard out here for a fan, man.
Say it's hard out here for a fan, bro. I feel your pain. Trust me,
man. But no, I think Tarkel had talked about the emotions, and I get that part, but at the same time, like you ain't gonna get to just talk about me and then just get my vote. You know what I'm saying? And that's also another part about it that we got to look at. as we're seeing right now, you don't get to say what the fuck you want to say about the Jews, and then they just rock with you. And to be honest,
For real.
you know what I'm saying? So, and that's like a selling point that people try to make with the Republicans. Oh, you're emotional. It's like, nah, you don't get to talk about us the way that you talk sometimes, and then we just follow through. Like, nah, if you say certain shit, just like any other racist, fuck you. Period. But it's the weird part about it is, you know, when they do it, it's to the extreme, because I'm starting to, you know, have conversations with people that actually watch that shit that and I don't want to go too far down, you know, off the subject, but that watch that shit that Kyrie had posted. Yeah. And they full of shit. They're from what I've understood talking to people, it's nothing anti-Semitic about it. And they are tearing him down over that shit. And that shit is insane to me.
Well, you know, brother, that's once again, that's the problem with our community. Like you said, you talked about, he said something about Jews, and they basically gonna shut his ass down and cost him a ton of money, right?
No, he didn't even say anything. He just posted that.
Oh, no, he just, but I mean, like, you know, he put something out there, and they jumped on it immediately. You know, if you say something about the gay community, it's over for you. I mean, you had Dave Chappelle in his last comedy thing apologizing for stuff. And but in the black community,
he kind of apologized. He was like, "No, we can have a debate."
Yeah, but I mean, but in the black community, you know, you can say what you want about us. We can't even agree that we've been assaulted. I mean, insulted. We can't even agree on that. Yeah. And that's the problem.
I mean, you look at Kanye. What Kanye said about slavery. What Kanye said about George Floyd, bro. I mean, seriously, man. If you said that, if I was related to Floyd, he said something like that, and I was sitting in the room, but it'd have been drama. You know what I mean? Off rip. And then they're like, oh, more black on black, you know, violence. It's like, man, you got to think about what you're saying, especially when you have these big platforms.
Think about this too. Like, if they could find a Jewish person to be like, nah, Kyrie's cool. I mean, I agree with him. They would trot that person out in a heartbeat, right? Be all over every news network. All right. If they could find a gay person, you know, that says that, you know, what they're saying about somebody being gay, it's cool. It's okay. I don't mind it. They'll trot that person out. But they're hard to find. The black community, bruh, them cats, we'll go out and tell the news people, hey, I disagree with them just so I could be on TV.
Get the likes.
Candace Owens. Candace?
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think they'll attack them, and I say that because Dave Chappelle is a perfect example. Dave Chappelle actually had a transgender friend.
Yeah,
he told the story about.
She was a comedian, and they fucking ripped her. I mean, they got in her ass for defending that man.
Yeah, to the point that woman decided to delete herself.
Now, mind you, they got in her ass for that, right? When you get someone in the black community that comes out and says some wildness or supports some wildness, what do? You just ignore it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it depends on how wild it is. I mean, and I don't want to talk about Kanye and Kyrie. I don't, because when all that jumped off, man, they had me talking about that for so long. And it's like, look, I just look at it like this is a dude with issues. You know what I mean? Kyrie, he posted a thing about a documentary, which I don't believe he even watched. He
said he hadn't seen it. No. He hadn't seen it at the time that he posted it, but he watched it. But the problem is they're calling it something, and then everybody that's supporting it hasn't watched. Everybody that's attacking him hasn't watched. Like the people on my Facebook that I've talked to that's on him, I'm like, have you watched the movie? Well, no, because they say no. I didn't ask what they said. Have you watched it? Because again, now I'm telling you, I haven't, but I know people that have. And the funniest part about that whole situation is when Kyrie tweeted, I don't know anybody that knew about that tweet. This shit didn't go viral and big until y'all made it big. Yeah. So you can say whatever you want about him promoting yada yada yada. I haven't met a person yet that when Kyrie tweeted it knew about that tweet. It's when y'all blew it up. But everybody that I know that have watched it has literally said it's complete bullshit. They did not say something like I seen the head of the the ADL, I think. He was talking to Nick Cannon, and he told Nick Cannon that they says in the movie they said something about those people making up the Holocaust. And it's an absolute lie, 150%. You know, so it's stuff like that where I tell people, like, before you go with this media and how they pushing a narrative, go watch it for yourself. Go read it for yourself.
Oh, brother, you asking people to think, brother. What are you doing?
Yeah. You asking people to think, Tommy B.
That's too much.
I mean,
what do we say?
These days,
uneducated, uninformed, man. That's how you control the masses.
It's so much easier just to go with the herd, right? And that's what people do. So let's get back on track, man. It looks like the Dems are going to hold on to the Senate, right? That's what it looks like. It looks like it might. Best case scenario for the Republicans in the Senate right now is they get 50-50 split, and then the Dems, of course, have the vice president, so that gives them control. The American people seem to be paying attention, especially in this midterm election, man. Brother Tommy, what's your thoughts on that, man? Like, do you think the American people have actually paid attention this cycle on this midterm, and because of Roe v. Wade and all these other things, or am I reading too much into this?
You took it right out of my mouth, man. It's that Roe v. Wade is I think it's what we watching the results of. Is that's such an extreme issue for some people, and that's one of the hottest topics for liberals that they came out, they showed out, and they showed off, and that's a difficult issue for me, because for me personally, I don't believe in that. And I'm saying for me personally, like if I create one, but I don't meddle in other people's business. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know the circumstances and stuff that they under. And I'll be 100 with you. If you can't take care of that baby, I ain't coming to take care of it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's a really weird issue. So I understand the passions of people on both sides of it. But I think that was just such a hot button issue for the blue that that's literally what created what we watching right now, because for a lot of the women, and I think that's who's leading this charge, like you said, from that direct issue, that was a nuclear topic, I'll call it. That was one of the ones like, whoa, this has been Roe v. Wade came into effect the 50s or the 60s or something like that. I might be off.
60s, I think. No, 70s.
70s. Okay, yeah. So that's been pretty much law for a minute. So for you to make such an extreme change, that's exactly why we're watching what we're watching right now. It's like, I think that's the one topic that just brought people out. It's just like that one topic. I think the Republicans didn't understand how much that would affect women and how that would make women vote.
Yep. And Roe v. Wade was 1973. I just looked it up real quick. It was 1973. And JSWANS, what's your thought on that?
No, I think he hit it right on the head. I mean, I think Roe versus Wade got everybody's attention. I mean, along with a lot of the other stuff that's been going on. I mean, I think, January 6th, I think that got people worked up at first, and then it kind of fell off, and and then all the election denial stuff and that kind of thing. I mean, I think people are just afraid. Then Roe versus Wade, and with women being that huge voting bloc, I think it just all that combined got everybody's attention. I think it was Candace earlier that said that women are the ones voting now, and they are. And the Republicans, they what is it? Is it hubris? What I mean? Is that where it is, where they flew too close to the sun? No, that wasn't hubris. That was gosh, who was that? I know one of y'all in chat.
I can't. Somebody tried to tell us, man, because he had his wax wings or whatever.
Yeah, he flew too close. But that's what they did. Hey, we got a mandate. We got this going on, and this is what happens when people get in their bubbles. The Republicans got in their echo chambers and started believing that stuff, and came back to get them.
I think the biggest part of that was when you start getting some states trying to push under any circumstances, we don't care. And that's, I think, what triggers people. Like, you're not about to tell me that somebody, raped me and then I got to go have a kid. You got me fucked up, or the incest situation, or even the statutory situation. Like, you're not about to tell me I got to go have this weirdo kid. Like, you got me, you know what I'm saying? So, or even the one where the mother's life is at risk. Like,
right.
That's something you're not about to sit here and tell women, nah, you got to. And they just going to sit back and be like, oh, okay. Like, I'm sure it's a lot of women in the red that looked at some of those extreme cases like, oh, no, you got me fucked up.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out how how serious things are, because Lindsey Graham said that the Republicans are going to push in the Senate. If they could take the Senate, and they could start in the House now, if they wanted to. That a federal abortion ban at 15 weeks.
Now, he said that thinking they were going to have this red wave. You got to understand, he was saying thinking they were going to take over. If they win control of the House, they're not going to win control of the Senate. The best they can do is 50-50 split, and then that, again, the Democrats have the vice president. So they're going to take control of the House, but it's going to be a very slim margin. So now, if they were to bring that up, there'd be a lot of Republicans saying no. And that was Icarus. That was Icarus, by the way. Shout out to Sister Candace for telling us that was Icarus who flew too close to the sun.
There you go. That's what I'm trying to figure out. There you go.
And I wanted to ask Brother Tommy one real quick thing, because JSWANS, I don't know if you heard JSWANS and I, we were debating earlier on this stream about male reproduction rights. What are your thoughts on that? Should men have some sort of say? In other words, be able to kind of walk away financially if they're in that situation where there's a kid involved and they're not ready? Should men have that legal option?
We didn't debate that.
We did debate that. I
didn't say that men shouldn't have no legal option. I never said that.
That's what we were talking about, bro. And that was my whole point. My point was this. My point was men should have a legal option. If I said the reason I don't support the option for women is because there's no option for men. Why would I fight for women to have this option when men have no option? That sparked the whole thing, the back and forth between you and I. I agree with it.
I never said men should have no right. Come on now.
But that's what I was pushing. Should men have that right? Should men have some sort of reproductive right? Because now we don't.
Yeah, I think they should. But how do you force a woman to have? How do you force a woman to carry?
You don't. You don't force a woman. You don't force a woman. That's the whole point. The guy can walk away financially. He can't be on the hook for child support. He can't anything like that. He can just walk away. Like, no, I'm not ready. Just like a woman could walk away. That's what I'm talking about. That should be law.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that at all.
Okay, because we went back and forth over that very point. And Brother Tommy, what's your take on that?
We went back and forth about women having abortion, and you saying I don't give a damn. I ain't supporting it because they don't benefit me.
I don't support their right to have the option because men don't have an option. I'm not gonna fight for their right to have an option that I don't have. That's what I was saying.
You said it doesn't benefit me, so I'm not gonna do it. And I was like, it's bigger than you.
It doesn't benefit me because why am I fighting for a female's right to choose when I don't have a right as a male to choose? I'm not saying that I can force this female to have or not have a child. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is her body, her choice, my wallet, my choice. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. That's all I'm saying. And that should be the law of the land.
There's other instances besides the fact that,
and I agree with all that. And I agree with all that. I agree with all that. But what I'm saying is
it's bigger than just that one issue.
But that one issue is critical. Men don't have any reproduction rights whatsoever, zero. And all I'm saying is that should be on the books. That should be on the books. You can, this is you're the child here. They say you're the father here, and he can say I'm not ready, and I can walk away legally.
So why can't you fight for both of those things then?
I want to fight for both of them. I'm like, because I've had this conversation with women who believe it. And I'm like, let's put both of them up front. You guarantee me that you're gonna fight for a man's right to have that option, and I'll help you with this right. That was my take. But let's get Brother Tommy's take real quick.
This is a tough one for me because I can't remember who said. I want to say it was Stephen A. Smith. But because we're dealing in fairness, and fair is a place where pigs get judged. It's not life.
Real talk.
So,
yeah.
Real
the
talk.
way that I look at it is, my rights is when I decide to shoot that in you. That's when my rights. Like, I have a decision at that moment to make. And, in my lifetime, I've had that decision to make. And every time that I've decided to do it, it hasn't been with some one night stand. So whether I 100% agree where you're coming with, as far as with that, I think because of myself, like I'm such an accountable person, when I look at it, it's on me. If I made it, that's my responsibility. It is what it is. I made that decision because it doesn't happen without my seed, period. So the easiest way to do it is just don't give the seed, and you don't even run into this problem at all. Now, of course, you're gonna have the extreme situations where, you know, oh, somebody, you know, stole a condom out of the trash can, or and even
or accidents happen.
But that's so rare that I don't even know if we should even be talking about like that type of stuff. Like, that's a super rare situation, you know. Even when we like to talk about like the, you know, the holes in the condoms, like that's not everyday situations. That's shit that, you know, that's like an experience that like, oh shit, this one time this happened type of situation. It's not like a, you know, 2 out of every 3 chicks I'm messing with is trying to poke a hole in the condom. You know, it's not enough of a problem for us to be talking about it as this is just a casual problem. But like I said, if we're trying to make things fair, I 100% agree with you. I just live in a world that I understand this shit ain't fair. It just is what it is. So that's how I operate. I operate knowing that, hey, if I do this, this is going to be the result of this. Or if I do this, this is going to be the consequence of this. And so in knowing that, as a grown man, I move accordingly. And I think that's the problem is we look for laws and stuff. Chill out, girl.
I was gonna say, hey brother, you sure you're a Raider fan? You don't sound like a Raider fan. You sound, you know, like you're a little bit intelligent.
I'm an anomaly. But yeah, so it's just, you know, I think we lean on the laws a lot of time to supplement our common sense and to help us with our accountability for decisions that we make. When literally, like I said, the easiest way to handle this is just don't give the seed, and you don't even run into this problem at all.
But accidents happen, brother.
Huh?
You know, you be in there, be feeling good. You be like, no, I got this. You know.
So I'll ask you this stuff. Look, when you have a car accident, you don't just get to go, oh, that's a car accident, I don't want to pay for it. No, you got to pay for it.
Yeah, DL probably done had a couple cars he ain't paid for.
So here's the deal. And this is why I love this platform. This is why I love having these conversations. And this is I love that people can hear men of color have this discussion, 2 very different viewpoints, right? Because I'm like, no, I think men should have that financial. They should have the same option, like you say, fairness. I would say it's more just being just. You know what I mean? But I understand where you're coming from. I'm the same way, bro. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. You know what I mean? So I hear what you're saying. I really do. I disagree, but I hear you. You know what I mean? But this is what I love about America. This is what I think is great. Hey y'all, it's finna go down, y'all. It's about to get crazy up in this joint, y'all. Mandrell is in the house. What's good, brother Mandrell?
You got the Vader mode, yeah.
What's going on? Yeah,
I ain't got my buttons. If I had my buttons, I would hit that join me, and together we can rule the galaxy.
And together we can rule the galaxy. Yeah, man. The deal, it's not about to get crazy. It's gonna do what it does. I mean, we all know the situation with inflation and what the Fed is not doing, and because they don't know what to do, because the situation is new. The fix for hyperinflation, the traditional fix doesn't work, and they move too slow in trying anything. So yeah, things are going to get worse financially for us. But let's get back to this whole voting thing, okay?
Yo, go ahead.
Nothing of note is going to change for Black people because we don't demand anything. We just want them to know what to do, and they don't know what to do about us because they don't know us. They don't know anything about us. They've never once in their life have they had to deal with Black people, like have to. Whereas with us, ever since we've been in America, we've had no choice but to deal with them.
Bro, that's crazy. That's a real conversation.
Yeah, you want a loan, you got to go through white people. You want a job, you got to go through white people. You want to join the military, you got to go through white people. We've had to deal with them, so we have no choice but to know everything as much about them as possible. They don't have to know anything about us, so they don't know anything about our plight, what causes us problems, what solutions to fix them. They don't know anything about us. They don't have to. So if we don't go in there and demand anything, how the hell are they going to know?
Hey, brother, you know, that is so true, man, because, where I live now, I've actually had, I've actually been playing golf with some of my neighbors. And one of them actually told me the other day that I'm the first black person that he's had a conversation with that did not work for him. This man is like 75, 80 years old. He's never had a conversation. So, I mean, that, and, you know, and people find that hard to believe, but I'm like, that's the reality of it. You know?
I joined the Army, and I met white people who said, you know, I've never seen a black person in person. I've only seen them on television.
Yeah, we had them in our unit too, bro. We was all in.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. And it's like, people have to understand that we live in a country that's like that. They don't have to know anything about us. So if we don't go in and make demands, they're not going to know. And that's one thing. And number two, they don't need our vote anymore. Our vote is powerful, yeah, but they don't need it.
Until they do, right? They don't need it until they do.
Here's the thing.
Wait.
When things are on the fence, that's when they need us.
Yes.
When they can swing one way or the other. Then they need black people. But the thing is, you haven't addressed any of our issues, like, at all. The Biden promised, black people, I'm going to give you police reform. I promise you. That's going to be one of the first things on my agenda. But what was the first thing he did? He signed some shit for Asians. He signed some other bullshit for the LGBTQs. And what do we get instead of police reform? We got Juneteenth as a holiday and a statue of George Floyd. Fuck you very much, Joe Biden. So, they have no reason.
That's true. That's the message. It's true.
Yeah, they have no reason to do anything for us or address any of our issues. You know what I'm saying? They haven't. Again, we're not involved in politics, and politics is where the power is. That's where the control is. You know, like people talk about making Black Wall Street, but if you look at Pine Bluff, it's called Pine Bluff, Arkansas. They really have built a new Black Wall Street, right? And it's because they have black police chiefs, fire chiefs, doctors, dentists, lawyers, the judges, Congress. City councils. The whole city council is black, except like one person. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything about it is black, and that's why they're able to thrive and flourish the way that they are. They're people who understand our situation and the things that we need, and they can properly address them because black people are in leadership. But how many people do you know today want to run for office? You know what I'm saying? People don't want to be involved in it, but then they complain. But it's like, okay, what do you want then? You don't want to get involved. I mean, nothing's gonna change until nothing's gonna change until you get involved and we get in office and stuff like that. But you know, this situation, Republicans, they don't give a shit, and neither do the Democrats. They both show us. They both show us that they do not care. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Look at what Trump did for black people. Nothing.
I mean,
what Obama did for black people?
No, he did more than any other president in history besides Lincoln.
Oh no.
Let them tell it.
You had
Let them tell it.
But wait, you had Johnson, who gave us civil rights and voting rights.
That conversation I would say to people when they say that.
Right, and that was the end of the Dixiecrats.
Yep.
And that's when the shift between black people voting Republican and Democrat, that's when it happened. That's when it was etched in stone. Those events right there in 64 and 63. That's when it happened. That's what people.
I gotta stop y'all with the Obama thing too, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that he just overly did stuff wrong, but it's a lot of people on the streets now because of that man, and that's just real. And that's from somebody who know people personally that was released because of him. It was a lot of sentences that was cut down, reverse and shit, where they, had got fucked over. That was released by him. Now, overall, was he just like? And I think that's where I think people are unfair with him. Is, did you really think they were just gonna let this black dude come here and just overwhelmingly just
change everything?
Oh, yeah.
Of course not. Yeah. The only thing, the only thing he could do was what he could do, and that was about it.
Well, DL and I talked about that. You know what I mean? Like, he was the first black president. We don't want him to be the last. So, I think a lot of people thought he was going to walk up in there and, start
the White House black. Right. He couldn't do that. I'm a Obama guy. I'm an Obama guy. But I will say this, and correct me if y'all think I'm wrong, but Barack could have done more. You know what I mean? He could have stopped short of painting the White House black, but I just feel like, oh man, he could have done more. But am I happy with what he did? Absolutely. One of the best presidents to ever hold the office, man. And not just in recent times. We're talking about in the history of the country. He looks like us. He's a very sharp guy. You know what I mean? I'm with that. That's a true politician. The way he got into the White House was on some Machiavelli shit, just off rip. You know what I mean? Brother Dino Dinosaur, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but he dropped something in here that I wanted to highlight. Is the GOP not insulting the people of Georgia by putting Herschel Walker on the ballot? And that's another thing with black folks, man. We don't understand politics. It goes to Mandrell's point. You know what I mean? We truly don't understand how it works. And the people, the powers that be, don't understand our issues, so we get left out in the cold every single time. I gotta agree with Brother Mandrell. And then I wanted to finish this up. The last phase here, I wanted to finish up with this statement right here. Here's the thing with the Republican Party. The Republican Party couldn't beat the woke left, right? In this midterm election, with everything this Biden has done has gone wrong with gas prices, with the Ukraine situation, with with the Fed bank raising interest rates, with the pressure on the rest of the world because of what America's doing. This is a very bad time for America. The right couldn't beat the woke left. Right, with everything else we talked about, transitionism, the taking rights, giving rights to kids, taking rights away from other people, right? They need to come back to their core principles, right? Fiscal responsibility, small government, sensible taxes, and freedoms. I think if the Republican Party were to do that, I believe that more people of color, African American, Latino, Asian, would go to the Republican Party, would be a part of the GOP. Yeah. What do you guys think? We'll start with Brother Tommy. What do you think about that?
I think, again, it starts with respect. You have to act like you respect us. You have to act like we matter. And I think one of their biggest problems is their marketing towards us. They act like if you come, cool. If I tell this story when I went to go sign up for the military, my two choices was the Air Force and the Navy, because I had already been ducking bullets. I wasn't signing up to go duck more. So I went to the Air Force office, and the dude had the shittiest attitudes towards me. It pretty much was, shit, if you join, cool. If not, we don't care. Like, I damn near wanted to punch the dude in the face. Like, the fuck? I walked out of there, and that was, I would, in my head, would be like the Republican. I walked out of there, and there was a Navy dude outside. Hey, man, what you up to? I said, shit, I was going to sign up for them, but, I don't really like how dude rocking. Well, shit, come over here, let me holler at you. Coolest dude in the world. Oh, man, when we go to ports, we party. Our bases is in some of the best cities in America, like, just kicking it to me. And I'm like, and it felt cool. Now, on the outside, if I had joined the Air Force, where shit had, would it have been a better career, something like that? I don't know, maybe. But the initial interaction is what changed my mood about joining them. And I'm saying it's the same thing with the Republicans. Like, our initial representation from them is, yeah, if you fuck with it's cool. If not, we don't give a fuck. And it's like, again, like I said, black people tend to vote emotionally. So it's like, fuck. And like I said, even some of the comments, if they valued us, when some of these dudes that are Republicans make these comments, the Republicans would get on their ass for making that comments. These dudes will make these comments, and it is just, whatever. And it's like, how you think we looking at y'all when y'all letting this cat, basically shit on us, and y'all could give a fuck about it? So I think they need to change their marketing towards black people and act like you give a fuck about our vote. And if they did that, and then like you said, they did press those issues, because like I said, when I talk to Republicans, I'm like, y'all issues is our issues. We don't like taxes too. A lot of us are religious too. We've always said black people have always been conservative. So if black people have always been conservative, what changed? It was y'all fucking the way y'all looked at us, the way y'all valued our vote. Y'all got to a point where y'all felt like y'all didn't need it, and it was like, fuck y'all. Well, and that's what the black community pretty much been saying to y'all.
That's a good point right there. JSWANS, what are your thoughts on this, bro?
Um, I I don't even know what the question was anymore. I mean, that was
I'll
a
do it
pretty
again.
deep.
Like, we're talking about because the Republicans blew it, right? They couldn't beat the woke left in this midterm election, even though the country is going in definitely the wrong place. They're going the wrong direction. Everything's jacked up. Gas is high. There's the war in Ukraine that we're fighting Russia through the Ukrainians. You look at what's going on with China and how they hold so much of our debt and they can destroy us at any moment and all the rest of it, right? During this time, the Republicans could not get a red wave. They can't beat the woke left. So, and I was saying, I think it's time that the Republicans get back to their core principles: fiscal responsibility, small government, sensible taxes, freedoms, right? And welcoming in people of color, black folks, Latinos, Asians, and the rest. So, what are your thoughts on that? Should the Republican Party now be 100% inclusive and start to court the African American vote?
Well, well, yeah. I mean, they should, but I think, I mean, the world is changing. America is changing. And I believe that the Republican and the Democrat Party have pretty much lost touch. I mean, you're dealing with people that have been in power since the 60s. And America has changed. Kids are on the internet now. It's harder to divide people than it was before. And I think that they just need to change with the times. Now, do I know exactly how to do it? No, I don't. If I did, I'd be rich. But I think that core values will be a start. If this is what we're about, this is what we're about. We're the party of, small government, like you said, fiscal conservatism. Not the party of, the Proud Boys, or the party of, the South shall rise again, that sort of thing. And the Democrats, they can't be the party of handouts. They've got to find a way to make it work. So, I mean, both parties need to become more inclusive. They need to find out what America wants, what new America wants, not America from 1950s, but what new America wants. And I think what we're looking at right now is that, new Americans want change. They just don't know how to get it because the same people are on the rolls. But
because they're all controlled by the 1%. I feel
yes,
you.
but that, like I said, that young brother that just went out of Orlando, 25 years old. I think they need to keep an eye on him.
Could be a sign of things to come, huh? All right,
Yep.
All right, that's cool. And Brother Mandrell, what say you?
What about?
About the Republicans welcoming in black folks in particular, and lessons learned from this red wave that they lost because of their own actions. Do you think they should? Do they think the Republicans should be open to welcoming the African American vote into their ranks, the Latino votes into their ranks and such? Or am I barking up the wrong tree? You think it's just going to remain status quo for them?
To be honest, I honestly don't see how they don't have it on lock, because when you look at black people and Latinos, I mean, they're hugely conservative in their core principles. Black people are the most church-going, conservative people you have in the country, dude. Come on. The most Christian conservative people out there. So how they do, but again, they don't even know that. They don't even know that. Like, it's a gold mine there. But should they? Yeah, if they want to win every election. But politics is a game of give some, gain some. They don't want to give us anything because we're the low-hanging fruit. We're the ones that they blame for everything. We're the scapegoat. So in order for us to embrace us, they have to find a new one. The Arabs had it for a little bit, but 10 years after 9/11, that whole using them as a scapegoat was just passé. They come over here and in 3 weeks got like 4 gas stations.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we've been here hundreds of years and they got shit. We own nothing. So
that's on us.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not all of it. Not entirely. Yeah, a lot of it I agree. But
thank you. It's on us.
A lot of it I agree. But the thing is, we've had a lot of help in staying in the situation that we're in. We didn't do it by ourselves. And that's my only argument. The only pushback I give to that argument, because I've heard people make that argument before. I'm like, okay, but the only thing I'll say to that is that We had a lot of help getting like this, a lot of help, and it's only so much people can take before they get demoralized and depressed to just say fuck it. Then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
But there's nothing holding us back now. So that's why I agree wholeheartedly. There hasn't been anything holding us back for the past 25, 30 years. Like nothing.
Nothing.
Like nothing at all. I'm talking about in a sense where there's nothing at all, period, holding you back. It's been like that for the past, I say, about 30 years, man. Nothing at all. So, in essence, yes, it's our fault. But should they go for us? Yeah. But we have to make it economically viable for them to support us. And that's why women are getting so much support these days, because economically, like, they're getting over on them. Women think they got control and power now, and they've got some men convinced of it. But, okay, who gave them the power? Men did. And if I can give you power, I can take it away. So who ultimately has the power?
That's
That's my thing on it. I mean, should they? Yeah, but we don't make it worth their while.
What's that video? How to sell to the Negro? I think that's what that video is called. Watch that video and then see how things are going right now.
Yeah, I think that's still on that. I think that's still on Netflix.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Oh, just look up on YouTube. Okay.
How to sell to the Negro, and you'll see that, and you'll watch that, and you'll see, why we're stuck in where we're at, because they explain it. Show them a shiny ball and watch them jump.
So, all right, man, that brings us to final thoughts. Brother Tommy, final thoughts, man. And thanks for coming up, bro. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, man. Like I said, I got to meet you last night, or the other night we were on Black Man Unfiltered. I'm so glad you're here, man. I appreciate the support. What are your final thoughts?
Well, I was going to respond to somebody in the comments. I'm trying to find them. They said that, follow Key's track said, I'd rather be ignored by Republicans and disrespected by Democrats. I agree. The only problem is they don't just ignore us; they disrespect us as well. It's not as if they. Again, I said, I can't remember. It was a couple of years ago. I literally watched one sit on stage and say black people haven't contributed shit to this country, and I ain't hear no outrage from Republicans. I ain't hear this dude get shouted down. None of that shit. Like, and that continuously happening. And kind of like what the brother said. The party of the party of the Proud Boys and shit like that.
Yeah,
that's disrespectful to embrace that shit. That's what pushes black people away from there, when you embrace motherfuckers like that. But like I said, I don't like either side though, so I don't want people thinking I'm a leftist. I'm in California and I argue with them motherfuckers all the time. I've been put in Facebook jail by right wing, left wing, all of them. So it is what it is, and that's why people get frustrated when I have discussions with them, because, they always get to a point to where they want to, throw the little insults, and I'm like, well, you can't call me a libertarian because I'm not that, and you can't call me, whatever you want to call a Republican, like I ain't that. So now we got to actually talk about the issue, and that gets them frustrated, because I'm not going to just get into the whole, name calling shit. No, let's talk about what we're talking about. So yeah, like I said, I don't, right wing, left wing, same bird. I don't like either side. I think both sides is fucked up. I think both sides ignore our issues. I think both sides disrespect us. I don't like either side. But I think it's on us to make them respect us and make them like us, and well, not even like us, but at least respect us and respect our vote. And that's going to be on us to, come up with demands and stuff. And when somebody like Ice Cube tries to put something together, instead of just, before you even read it, start shitting on them. Read it. If you got some critiques, give your critiques. But it's something that we need, and not necessarily from a celebrity, but we need a list of demands, so that when we come from them, we tell them we need these met to get our vote. And until we get that together, I mean, our vote is pretty much useless, because we were voting without no kind of strategy.
That's real talk, bro. I appreciate that, man. Damn, I wish my buttons were working, man, but they're not. I'm gonna hit it anyway. But
you see, this is why I don't come up sometimes when Tommy B is up here. Because our political views are largely the same, like damn near one to one. You know what I'm saying? Because I would have sat here and said the same thing he said. You know what I'm saying?
Salute to you, brother Tommy B. Like, salute to you. Thank you for those final thoughts, man. Like I said, I don't have my I'm hitting the buttons, but y'all can't hear it. But yo, bro, I appreciate that, man. Thanks for coming through. Do you want to? Where can people find you, man?
So the page is Convo and Chill with Tommy B. I think I'm gonna end up, start doing videos and stuff soon. But it's Convo and Chill with Tommy B. That's the page, and I appreciate you having me up here, now.
Oh, bro, for real. If anything I can do for you, let me know, man. We got this StreamYard, man. Shoot, we can make this happen. If you want to do a show, any ideas for a show, hit me up. I'll definitely do it, bro. Thanks again, man. I'll talk to you soon, brother. Peace.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, and I was gonna tell you too. I think it's last night, Friday. I might be licking fingers, so I don't know if I'm gonna make it.
It's all good. We all day, man. It's all day. So if you find a break in action with the free food, man, hit us up on whoever platform.
Oh, mine. No, yeah. I got the. I'm gonna put it in the back chat for you. You can drop it. I'll put it in the back chat. But I put it up here yesterday too. I got the email. It's all the restaurants that's offering stuff. I got them. So I'll put it in the back chat for you.
Appreciate that, bro. I'm gonna holler at you, man. Peace. Mandrell, final thoughts, bro.
Final thoughts. None of these parties care about. If you're looking at a political party to back black issues, stop it. Stop it. It's not happening. They don't care. They don't have a reason to. And in order for them to have a reason to, you have to make it worth their while. You have to. That's what everyone else does. That's why the 1% controls politics. They make it worth their while financially. For us, it has to be like campaign donations or contributions or getting them votes. Keeping them in office as long as humanly possible. If we can guarantee that, that's a start. But we have to make sure that we demand that they meet our needs as well. We have to demand that. And if they don't hold up their end of the bargain, next election cycle, they're out. Cut and dry. That is it. It doesn't matter what party you're in. It's not a football team. I make that argument all the time with white people, white people that I talk to. Yeah, but the Democrats, I'm like, yeah, the Democrats didn't do shit either. Well, with the Republicans, no, your life doesn't get any better no matter what party's in. I'm like, how do y'all not notice this? They just do what they're gonna do. Like, one hand is washing the other here. They work together in tandem. It's just everything you see on television and the things that you see them do is just a dog and pony show. They mask it. But those are my final thoughts. Don't get stuck on a party. Me, I'm an issues voter. I believe and voted for the best candidate for the job, regardless of party. So you can take that with you. Hopefully you adopt that strategy as opposed to looking at Democrats and Republicans, because as a whole, neither one of them give a shit about black people. Let's be honest.
That's real talk right there, man. That's real talk, man. Shit, I'm sorry my sounds ain't working. You can't hear, but I hit the applause, man. So thanks again, bro. And hey, man, when's your show, man? Is it tonight?
It is tonight. Yeah, my sister. Yeah, we're gonna do a topic my sister came up with. We're gonna be doing a reaction to some Rebecca Lynn Pope, I think her name is.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing a reaction to her one of her videos. I gotta finish watching it. I was sitting here watching it, then I was scrolling through YouTube. I got a notification that you started. So, as you know, I'm gonna take a break from this nonsense and check out DL.
I appreciate that, man. You're gonna get your sister mad at me because you ain't gonna be prepped. But what time is that? It's on Black Man Unfiltered. What time is the show?
It's at 8:30 Central on the Black Man Unfiltered Network.
All right, come on, Airborne. You know how to do a proper plug, man. Black Man Uncensored Network. What's the name of the show?
Unapologetic with Mandrell and Shushu. Yep. The name of the show is Unapologetic with Mandrell and Shushu. That is tonight and every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Black Man Unfiltered Network.
Thanks, bro. Damn, that was hard. Maybe doing this shit longer than me, bro. What's going on, Airborne? You must need something to eat. You must need lunch or something, bro. You need a nap or something. Damn,
I probably do need a nap. I'm not gonna argue about that one.
Damn, Green Beret can't plug his own show, man. Thanks for coming up, man. You know I always appreciate the support, bro. And like always, man, I tell everybody, man, anything you need of me, man, just hit me up and let me know, bro. And like I said, man, as soon as the summertime, I'm gonna come up and hit the range with you, bro. I'm trying to get JSWANS to come up here, man. I gotta exercise this M14 behind me. Although those rounds cost so much money, but I still need to do it.
Yeah, brass is expensive these days for some reason.
Yeah, real expensive. Well, that's another show. But thanks again, bro. I'll see you tonight. I'll definitely be there.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, brother. Peace.
Take it easy, bro.
JSWANS, man. Just me and you now, bro. So
bro, they done said it all. You know what I mean? Like, they done said it all. I mean, like, my thing is this, man. Like you said, it's not a team. And if you find yourself stuck on one side desperately, you know, you need to revisit your situation, because both sides, Democrat, Republican, have done great things for us as a community, but they've also done a lot of bad things. But if you find yourself doing that, well, what about this? And then, you know, what about that? And, you know, or, you know, what is it?
Hunter Biden,
you know, Trump, DeSantis, or whatever. You know, you got a problem. You know, you really
Taylor Green.
Yeah, for real. You know, like Mandrell said, I vote policy, not party. And I think that's what most people do. But, you know, they've got America confused. That 1% that controls the news media has got people uninformed.
You know, vote policy, vote your pocketbook.
They got people flipping out, talking about critical race theory, which is not even taught in elementary school, but got people screaming critical race theory. Well, what is that? Well, it's telling white people that they're bad. I mean, come on.
They have no idea. Same thing with Obamacare. I hate Obamacare, but Affordable Care Act is great.
Love the Affordable Care Act. You know what I mean? Got people uninformed. You got them uneducated. And then you got them scared that the brown people are coming for your stuff. Fentanyl's everywhere. You know, they're bringing fentanyl. They're going to kill you. I mean, look, vote policy, not your team. All right? Think, people. That's all you got to do. Think. Talk to your neighbors. Go outside. Get out of the basement. Get out of the basement. You know, take the tinfoil hat off and go talk to your neighbors and see what's going on. You know, support your local politics, because that's what's really going to affect you. You know, your local politics. I mean, like I've said many times on this platform, brother, there's a guy in here that pays both parties and has cell phone numbers of both parties, so he can get what he wants when he wants it.
He gets what he wants.
Yeah, and everybody's so stuck in their team, so stuck in their tribe that they just gloss over that. And the response is, well, everybody does it. Well, does that make it right? Is that acceptable to you? That's the problem. So, I mean,
you know, it's funny because I've been watching on TV. They're like, well, who really won? I'm like, that dude. That dude, JSWANS, is talking about won. Because guess what? He backed both candidates. One of them going to win. Yep. So, like, he can pick up the phone.
Brother, and laughs about it. I mean, I'm sitting there. I'm appalled. I told him, I'm like, bro, that's wrong. Yeah, but you know how it is, Jay. This is how the world works. Come on now.
Hey, what do I say? Don't hate the players, hate the game, man. That's what it is, man. Bro, thanks for coming. I know we was supposed to talk about something completely different, man, but I had to jump on this while it was still fresh. You know what I mean? Yeah, we still don't know who won the House. We still don't know who won the Senate. We should know by sometime today. Thanks to everybody who was there. You know me, Brother Tommy, Brother Mandrell, everybody in the chat, all my day ones, all my new folks. Dino Dinosaur, man, I'm reading all your chats, man. You a beast, bro. I hope you keep coming back. Brother Jose, Brother Roman was in the house. I didn't get a chance to shout you out, bro, but I see you. Thanks for coming through. Sister Candace, Sister Follow, everybody else who comes through. Act Ozzy.
Hey, tell him hit the like button. You don't ever say that. I see that on the other videos, though. On other people be doing it.
What JSWANS just said, hit the like button. Please subscribe. We're almost monetized, y'all. We are really, really close, man. We're like around 1,100 views away from being fully monetized. Shout out to Rod Eric, Cornerstone, Fresh and Fit Dallas, who really putting in work and helping me out. This was a great topic. This was a lot of fun. This is JSWANS. I'm DL Saint. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast, man. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.